Welcome to the GutFit Nutrition Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the world of gut health, nutrition, and fitness to help you unlock your best self from the inside out. I'm your host, Leigh Merotto, a registered dietitian, gut health expert, long-distance runner, and movement enthusiast on a mission to empower you with science-backed, whole-body strategies to fuel your body, heal your gut, and thrive in your active life. Whether you're here to finally break free from IBS and digestive symptoms, optimize your fitness performance, or learn how to support your gut health with natural strategies, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll explore topics like conquering digestive symptoms, building a gut-friendly lifestyle, enhancing endurance and strength performance, and more. So grab a cup of your favorite gut-friendly tea and settle in, because we're about to get gut fit together. Welcome back to another listener Q&A episode. These episodes are where I take the questions that you send me and quite simply answer them on the podcast. Be sure to send me your questions either as a comment on this episode if you're tuning in from YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or you can also send me a DM over on Instagram at Leigh Merotto _RD. Today's question was sent in by Jane from Pennsylvania. Jane asks, I have trouble when I increase fiber for my IBS. What's happening? So I love this question, and I get many new clients who come to me and say that they've been, trying to increase their fiber. They've done it before. They've tried to eat more fiber, et cetera, but then they get symptoms, the bloating, the abdominal pain, the diarrhea, constipation gets worse. So what's going on? So I think to really understand this, we need to dig a little bit deeper in terms of what's contributing to your symptoms in IBS. So in IBS, we know that there is commonly what's known as visceral hypersensitivity. So we do have an earlier podcast episode on visceral hypersensitivity. I did this with Day Wilson from FODMAP Every Day. Dive into that a little bit more. But if you're not familiar with visceral hypersensitivity, essentially it means that the nerves in your gut and those with IBS are more responsive to pain and may detect pain even in normal circumstances. So sort of the breakdown of fiber or FODMAPs can actually cause more pain receptors and more pain messages being sent to your brain when you get that stretching of your abdominal wall. I love the book When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate. So in chapter 11, titled It's All in Her Head, he discusses studies that involve balloon distension in individuals with irritable bowel syndrome. And then these studies actually demonstrated that IBS patients reported higher levels of pain when a balloon was inflated in their intestines compared to the control subject. So same amount of balloon inflation. However, the patients without IBS did not report as high a level of pain as the patients with IBS. So it's quite interesting. And additionally, PET scans revealed that rectal distension activated the prefrontal cortex in IBS patients, but not in controls, suggesting that there is an emotional component to their pain perception as well. So it isn't, all in your head with IBS. There is that level of visceral hypersensitivity where you are more sensitive to stretching of your abdominal wall. The nerves in your gut are hypersensitive. The interesting thing too is that we actually are thinking that visceral hypersensitivity is related to different factors, including dysbiosis or imbalance in the gut microbiome. So I know that, you've probably thought, yes, I want to increase fiber because that's going to help my microbiome to be healthier. But then it's a bit of a catch-22 when you do try to increase fiber, but you get more symptoms. So all that to say, it's definitely possible to get more fiber. There just are some considerations that we want to take into account when you have IBS. So this includes three things. So the amount, the type, and the balance of fiber. So with the amount, we want to gradually increase it slowly so that your gut can adjust to the increase of fiber. I've had a lot of clients who have been on really restrictive low FODMAP for years and only eating 15 grams of fiber. So if you start going up to 30, 40, you're going to get symptoms for sure. So we want to scale it up slowly. The other part is the type. So focusing on lower FODMAP sources of fiber can be helpful just to help to build up that intake. And then also the balance. So those with IBS, especially IBS-C, tend to respond better to more soluble fiber, and just being mindful of insoluble to soluble fiber balance tends to be better tolerated. So how much fiber you want to aim for? The current recommendations are 25 grams per day, at least for adult women, and 35 to 38 grams for adult men. For my IBS patients, I like to see the range of 30 building up to even 50 grams because of the beneficial impacts of fiber. So Why fiber is important is because it acts like a fuel source for our good bacteria. It's actually an indigestible plant material. Our bodies don't break it down, but when it moves through our GI tract and into our large intestine, which is where most of our gut microbiome is housed, then our gut bacteria, the good ones, break it down and they use it for fuel. And they actually produce these amazing chemicals called short chain fatty acids, or SCFAs, which help to balance out and maintain a healthy pH in our intestinal tract. So conversely, if we don't get enough fiber, we're under eating fiber, we actually see a shift in the pH of our intestinal tract, which can actually result in it being more susceptible to disease state, an increase in inflammation, a weakening of the digestive wall, and this can actually lead to IBS symptoms being worse. So definitely fiber is important. I would say, there's a very small population of people who do better on a little bit of a lower fiber diet, but most people could stand to get more in their diet. So it's just doing it in a way that is strategic when you have IBS, but it's definitely possible. I've worked with 300 plus clients with IBS, and I've coached so many to increase their fiber, and they feel better when they do. So it's definitely possible. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of our community here. If the GutFit Nutrition podcast is giving you value, helped your digestion and fitness, made you rethink how you approach your gut health, consider leaving a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you're getting your podcasts. If you have questions for my listener Q&A episodes, you can submit them as a comment on this episode or send me an email at leigh@leighmerotto.com. For more digestible IBS gut health and fitness tips, be sure to follow me on Instagram at LeighMerotto_RD. And to apply for coaching, shop the resource suite, or grab a freebie, visit gutfitnutrition.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be in touch soon.